Welcome to video lecture on steel design. In this lecture we will learn about design strength of steel column as per AISC requirements. First we will look at the requirements of column design by AISC. In chapter E of LRFD code, it is mentioned that FU factor load should be less than or equal to 5 CPN, where PU is the sum of factor load on the column, which we can calculate by using the load factors for dead load and live load. Phi C is the resistance factor for compression, which is taken as 0.9. Pn is the nominal compressive strength, FCR into Ag. So this is critical stress multiplied by gross area of the section, where FCR is critical buckling stress. Now we have these conditions here. There are two conditions for that, and if KL by R is less than or equal to 4.71 square root E upon Fy, where E is modulus of elasticity, or Fe greater than or equal to 0.44 Fy. If this is the condition, then in this case critical stress will be calculated by this formula 0.658 to the power Fy upon Fe, and this whole thing multiplied by Fy. This is known as equation 3.2. The second condition is for KL by R greater than 4.71 square root E upon Fy. If this value is greater than 4.71 square root E upon Fy, or Fe is less than 0.44 Fy, then critical stress is taken as 0.877 Fe. This is equation 3.3. Now Fe is same as you have seen in the previous lecture. This is Euler's stress pi square E over KL by R. So this we can use when we are in the linear range, but for inelastic conditions, inelastic range, we will be using these equations. Now we will try to solve one example and we will see all these steps required for finding the design strength of column. So this problem says determine the design compressive strength ICPN of W14 by 74 with an untraced length of 25. Both ends are pinned. So end conditions are given, and the length of the column is given, section is also given, and steel grade is also given. So you have to find the strength of design strength of the section. So first we will calculate KL. K in this case, because both ends are pinned, so K will be taken as 1. L is 20, so KL, which is your effective length, will be equal to 1 into 20 into 12. We have taken this factor 12 to change foot into inch. So this is now 240 inch. We have to calculate the value for R, which is radius of gyration, that we can calculate R minimum from the table of the steel section. Your section is W14 by 74. So we have to see this value from this steel table, and from here we can see the value for minimum R. Here is R about x-axis and this is R about y-axis. So when we come here, we see this value R x-axis 6.04 and R y by 2.48. So this is the least value for R. So we put here R y is R minimum and this is 2.48. Now we can calculate the slenderness ratio KL by R, because we are putting here minimum value, so KL by R will be maximum. So 240 is this KL effective length and R minimum is 2.48. This gives you a value of 96.77, which is less than 200. So this is acceptable. Now we calculate Fe by using that formula pi square E over KL by R square, after substituting these values for E and other, and we get this value as 30.56 Ki. The value for E will be taken here. Now we check which condition is applicable. So we find here 0.44 Fy, which is equal to 15.84 KSI. Therefore, we can see here that Fe value, which is 30.56, is greater than 15.84, which is 0.44 Fy. Therefore, equation 3.2 will be used to find critical stress. Now we use this equation 3.2 FCR 0.658 Fy upon Fe into Fy. So we take the value of Fy, divide by Fe. These values are already calculated here. Fy is given in the question and Fe we have just now calculated. So this factor becomes 1.178. When we multiply these things, we get 21.99 KSI. So once we get the stress, we can find the value of our load 5 CPN. So 0.9 into FCR, which is 21.99, multiplied by gross area, which is 21.8, that we have already taken from steel sections table. So this comes out to be 433.44 kips. Now the whole procedure can be done with the help of steel section table. AIC has developed these tables, and this table is available in 422, and the name of that table is available critical stress for compression members. So in that case, the values for FCR for different slenderness ratio are available. So based on that, we will find the corresponding value of critical stress for this given slenderness ratio in our case. In our case, it is 96.77 slenderness ratio. Now you see here, this table is available critical stress for compression members. Here are different values for Fy. So whatever is given for us, in our case Fy is 36 KSI. So we will be limited to only this column in our case. Okay. Now slenderness ratio is 96.77, but if we go to this table, we don't have 96.77 here. So what we will do, we will take the value for 96 and 97, and when we come here, we find this value as 19.9, and for 97 the value is 19.7. So in that case, we will be doing linear interpolation, and to find the value at this 96.77. So by that linear interpolation, we find the value of this ICPN, and this 5 CFCR is 19.75 by interpolation, and then 5 CPN, this is load, critical load, which is stress multiplied by the factor and gross area. So this way we can get the answer in a quicker way. So it will not take too much time, but you have to do interpolation from those tables. If you have the value directly like 96, then it would have been very fast. So without doing any interpolation, you can do, because the values in this table are integer 81, 82, 83, like this. So you will search for this KL/R value, and then according to that you will set. If it is available here, then you can directly take the value. Otherwise, you have to do interpolation. Now we come to compact, non-compact and slender columns. As you have seen in the previous chapter of beam design, we defined compact section, non-compact and slender section. So here also we are defining them in terms of B/T ratio, which is referred to as lambda. So here also we have these three criteria. Compact sections are those with flanges fully welded or connected to their web, and in that case their lambda value is less than or equal to the specified value of lambda, which you will see in the next slide. For non-compact sections, the value of lambda for the section is between lambda b and lambda r, and for cylinder section, the value of lambda for the section is greater than lambda r. This is similar to what we have seen in the previous chapter of beam design, but the values of lambda p, lambda r are different in the case of column. You can see here b by t in the case of this I section, b by t less than or equal to 95 divided by square root fy, or h by tw less than or equal to 253 by square root fy. Similarly for t section, and many other sections are available here. So depending upon the section, you can check whether this section is compact or non-compact or cylinder. Now we will solve one example, and in this example you will see here that the value of this effective length will not be same. In this case, x direction has effective length 24 foot, but in y direction, because they have provided this lateral bracing, so length about y direction is reduced. It is 8 foot, 8 foot, 8 foot, so total length. So we have to consider our calculations about both axes, about x direction and about y direction, because of these conditions of support, because this is your W section. So W section is protected of about this lateral protection in the case of y direction. So we will calculate, the values are given here. Fy is 50 ksi, and you have to find the design compressive strength. The procedure will be same. The only difference in this case is that the column is laterally braced about y direction. So by directional RFD, we will calculate first the properties from the table, and that table for W12 by 65, we can get these values from that table, and from the values of that table we will find Rx, Ry and the gross area. Once we get these values, we go to calculate our values of this section, and you can see here, this from here we will get the values of Rx and Ry. Once we get the values for Rx and Ry, which we have written here, gross area and all this, then we calculate slenderness ratio K x Lx by Rx. So this is about x axis, and similarly we will calculate about y axis. So when we substitute the value for Lx, that is effective length, with respect to x axis, we will take 24 foot multiplied by 12, because 1 foot is 12 inch, and then we substitute here the value for Rx from the table 5.28, and it gives you the value of 54.55. Similarly, about y axis we calculate slenderness ratio, and this gives you a value of 31.79. Now we calculate Fe, pi square E over KL by R square, and this value comes out to be 96.2 KSI. So Fe is greater than or equal to 0.44 Fy. If this is the criteria, then we will use equation 3.2. Now we check whether it is satisfied, because Fe is 96.2 and 0.44 Fy is 22 KSI. Therefore, this is satisfied. So we will be using this equation. FCR is equal to 0.65 Fe upon Fy divided by this Fy. So this gives you a value of 40.225 KSI. Once we get this value, we can easily calculate the critical load. So critical stress multiplied by gross area, that gives you 691.5 gives. Now we can also use the tables which are available in AIC manual. So there is a table 4.22, which is giving you the value, as you have seen in the previous one, available critical stress for compression members. So the same type of table we will be using for this case. and here also this is interpolation, so you have to do interpolation for this 54.55 because this is the maximum value for slenderness ratio. So 54.55, and in that case we will check from the table here and we will do interpolation. If you see what is the value for Fy, in this case Fy is given as 50 ksi. So for this 50 ksi and KL by R 54.55. So we see here 54.55, we have 54 and add 50, so we are here 54 and 55. So we will take these two values and then we will do interpolation between these two values which are for Fy equal to 50 ksi. We will look at this phi c FCR. This is for LRFD, this is for allowable stress. So we will look for phi c FCR of this column. So based on that we get this value by interpolation as 36.235 ksi. Once we get this critical stress, we can multiply by the area, gross area of the section, and that gives us the critical stress 692 kPa. Now there is another method which is based on effective length with reference to y-axis, and this table is also available in AISC manual. So there are three ways that we can find critical stress. If this value, this table is available, you can see. Now if we look here, we have to find here KLY with reference to, because you already have KLX upon Rx, and now if I divide it by Ry here, Rx upon Ry, so you can say that we are finding proportionately what will be the value for KL about y-axis. In other words, you can say if I write here KL y upon Ry equal to KLX upon Rx, and then I take this Ry in this denominator, so it will be Rx upon Ry here, and then KLX. So we have KL already about x axis, the length is 24 and coefficient of effective length is 1. Then we put here the values for Rx and Ry. So this way you will get effective length in terms of y. You will not take that effective length which was earlier, you will not take this value, but you will calculate with reference to this which was controlling slenderness ratio, and you will conclude like this. So you can say that this is your value, and then here Rx upon Ry. So now we get this value as 13.7 foot. This is effective length with reference to y-axis. Now we will go to that table, and this table is about the critical load. Come here, available strength in axial compression for 50 ksi. So you will see this table and we will go according to this. This is W12 by 96, W12 by 87, W12 by 79, 72, 65. Different sections are available, and we have here the corresponding value for effective length, and you can see here with reference to this y-axis. So we calculate this value, and also you can see at the bottom you will see this value Rx upon Ry is 1.76 here. So this table is, in this case it is 1.75, 1.75, 1.75. So this is Rx upon Ry. Now in our case we have already these values. So according to this 13.7, we will find what will be the value. So from here we have 13 and 14. So with reference to this we will interpolate. Now what is our section? Our section is W12 by 65. So W12 by 65 is our section, and KL is 13.7. W12 by 65, W12 by 65, we are here, and then we will look from these two values, and then we will do interpolation as we have done in the previous two cases. And this gives you a value. By interpolation we get this value as 691.3 kbps. But here you have to be careful that you have to find KLY with reference to this formula. Now we go for one more example where you will see that there is lateral bracing but not at the same distance as in the case of previous question. Here it is 15. So from A to B this will be taken as 15, but from B to C the length is 10 foot, and this is about different axis. Now we have to look for the maximum load capacity of this column. And of course here this is fixed and this one is pinned. Now we come to this part, and the section given here is W14 by 53 and steel grade is A36. We look for x-axis, Lx will be 25, the whole length, but Kx will be taken as 0.8 because one end is fixed and the other one is pinned. The value of Rx will be taken from steel sections table, which comes out to be 5.89, and then we'll go for y-axis. There are two parts for this case. For AB, this end is fixed and this one is pinned, so we get this as 15 foot, but Ky will be equal to 0.8 in this case. When we come to BC, this is pinned and this is also pinned, so we have this value 10 into 1. Now we calculate the value for KL by R about x-axis. We substitute these values in the similar way and we get this value as 41. Then we calculate about y-axis, KL by R, y 0.8 into 15 into 12 upon 192, and we get this value as 75. Now here we get this 75, so this is controlling, the highest value will be taken. Now we go to the table 422 for available critical stress for compression members, and we get phi FC equal to 24.1 Ks, and as you see here the value for KL by R is 75, so there will be no need to do any interpolation. We look here, this is the value in terms of, so we can directly calculate from here 75, this is a whole number, and we can calculate the corresponding value. In this case we find this value for 75, and steel grade is given as 36, so we come here for 36, this is 35 and then 36, so for 36 and 75 the value is 24.1. We will take this value for IC FCR, so we have got this value. Now we see here the value is 24.1. Once you get this value, you can calculate column capacity. Phi Pn is equal to phi FCR into gross area. Gross area already we have seen from the previous table for steel section. So 24.1 multiplied by 376 kPa. With this we complete this example for design strength of the section.